Hi, this is part 2 of Is Doubt Really a Sin? Sorry, I seem to be making a habit of running out of space when I'm recording. It's about time I cleared out my phone, and I'm having a few troubles with my desktop though. And anyway, so I hope you've seen part 1, and I was just reading a bit from an article in the 2001 July 1st Watchtower, and it was about doubt. And I was just talking about how it brought out in the article that it said a loving Christian is certainly ready to believe those who have proved trustworthy in the past. And I brought out how has the organisation proven to be trustworthy in the past when they make changes to doctrines that even result in the death of people? For example, the changing teaching on blood fractions. You know, people died in the past from not being permitted to accept blood fractions. So it's pretty serious. So I would say no, that the organisation hasn't really proved particularly trustworthy in the past. So there is every reason to have legitimate doubts. Anyway, the article goes on. The Apostle John also warns Christians against blind belief. Do not believe every inspired expression, he writes. Rather, test the inspired expressions to see whether they originate with God. An expression, a teaching or opinion might appear to emanate from God, but did it really come from him? Exercising some doubt or suspending belief can be a real protection, because as the Apostle John says, many deceivers have gone forth into the world. And of course, going back to the blood fractions, I mean, people died because they believed that, they listened to what the governing body was saying about blood. Clearly, it did not come from him, did it? Did not come from God. Okay, so the article goes on. I'll just go to the subheading, Maintaining Good Spiritual Health. How then can we protect ourselves from damaging doubts? The answer is remarkably simple: by firmly rejecting satanic propaganda and fully availing ourselves of God's provisions to make us solid in the faith. Okay, so taking in spiritual provisions. Under the heading Avoid Spiritual Starvation. Now the challenge is to maintain our faith and to avoid any uncertainty of belief that can weaken our confidence in Jehovah and his organisation. It says to do this we must continue to examine the scriptures daily, etc., etc. And it does mention in here about the Bereans, how noble-minded they were, and they would check the scriptures daily to make sure that what they were being taught was actually true or actually scriptural. And it says here, this is their advice: hence, keep up your personal study, fight doubts vigorously. To ignore what appears to be a trivial infection, to do nothing about nagging doubts, may have disastrous consequences. Are we really living in the last days? Can you believe everything the Bible says? Is this truly Jehovah's organisation? Satan would love to plant doubts like these in your mind. Do not let a negligent attitude towards spiritual feeding leave you easy prey to his deceptive teachings. Follow the advice given to Timothy. Be a good student of the holy writings, so that you can continue in the things that you have learned and were persuaded to believe. Now, what I thought very interesting about this is that it's through following that advice that raises the doubts in the first place. It's through diligent reading of the scriptures that causes you to have doubts about the organisation and about their teachings and their policies, practices. Reading their own literature will cause you to have doubts, and this is exactly what happened to me. I used to find it amusing when the circuit overseer would visit, and he would stress that we needed to do personal study to have strong faith in the organisation, but I would actually say that it actually diminishes your belief and your faith in the organisation by doing that study. So anyway, I found it interesting that the brother at the convention now says that doubt is a sin, and I can just see the brothers and sisters, you know, it's a doubt stopping, kind of a thought stopping technique, isn't it, to equate doubt with sin and, you know, something bad, weak. So another manipulative technique to stop brothers and sisters questioning or viewing their doubts as being legitimate. Anyway, I will stop going on now, and thank you for watching. Bye.